As a heart surgeon, I've seen husbands lose their wives, and wives lose their husbands all because of what I'm about to tell you. And the most painful part? Most of them never knew. They thought they were eating safe food, doing the right thing. But the truth is, the very canned foods they trusted were slowly poisoning them, one bite at a time. I've had to tell a son that his father's heart gave out, not because of age, but because his arteries were choked with salt and chemicals from supposedly healthy soups. And what makes me sick? I've been offered money from billion-dollar companies to call these foods senior-friendly. They wanted me to use my title, my white coat, my credibility to lie to you. But I couldn't do it. I've seen too many tears when families realize their loved one is gone, and it all could have been prevented. That's why I'm here. Because some cans are damaging your health and cutting your life short, but others can rebuild your muscles and protect your memory. Today, I'll expose the 5 worst canned foods you must never touch after 60 and reveal the 5 best you should eat daily. We're counting down from 5 to 1, and each one will shock you more than the last. When you see the number 3 worst food, the one sitting in millions of homes right now, you will never look at your pantry the same way again. Before we dive in, please tell us where you're watching from in the comments. We read every single one because your voice matters. Now, let's start with number 5 on our worst list. It may look like fruit, but it's flooding your body with sugar. Number 5. Canned fruit and syrup. It looks innocent, an easy way to get your fruit. But for seniors, this is one of the most deceptive foods in the grocery aisle. What looks like healthy fruit is actually swimming in sugar, so much that it can send your blood sugar soaring. Just 1 cup of canned peaches and heavy syrup can pack over 30 grams of sugar. It's nearly 8 teaspoons of table sugar dumped into a single snack. Science shows that people with high sugar intake have double the risk of dying from heart disease. For seniors already prone to insulin resistance, every spoonful accelerates the decline. The fix is simple. If you buy canned fruit, only choose those packed in water or 100% fruit juice. Never syrup. Or, even better, choose fresh fruit when possible. A bowl of fresh blueberries or sliced apples gives you natural sweetness and fiber without the sugar bomb. And while canned fruit and syrup can ruin your blood sugar, the next one is even more dangerous. Number 4. Canned soups. They're sold as warm, comforting, and even healthy, with labels that say low-fat or heart-healthy. But for seniors, canned soups are one of the worst choices you can make. Why? Because most are packed with sodium, preservatives, and flavor enhancers. 1 can of chicken noodle soup can have over 900 milligrams of sodium that's almost half your recommended daily limit in a single sitting. That's a salt bomb. Lowering sodium intake can reduce blood pressure enough to cut stroke risk by nearly 25%. But instead of lowering your sodium, canned soups push it sky high, leading to high blood pressure, stiff arteries, and kidney strain. To fix, ditch canned soups, or at least switch to brands labeled low sodium. Even better, make large batches of homemade soup with fresh vegetables, lean chicken, and herbs for flavor instead of salt, and freeze them for later. But if you thought canned soup was bad, just wait. The next one is sold everywhere as a cheap, tasty source of protein. But it's loaded with fat, sodium, and chemicals that can shave years off your life. Number 3. Canned pasta, like ravioli and spaghetti. Canned pasta looks harmless. It's a quick meal that brings back memories of childhood. You see it on the shelf and think easy, cheap, and filling. But behind that nostalgic label is a health disaster waiting to happen, especially for anyone over 60. First, the nutritional value is practically zero. The pasta is overcooked into a mushy, starchy mess, stripped of any fiber it might have started with. This means it digests incredibly fast, spiking your blood sugar just like pure sugar would. This leads to energy crashes, weight gain, and an increased risk of type 2 diabetes. But the real villain is the sauce. It's loaded with sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats to make it taste good. 1 small can of ravioli can contain over 1,000 milligrams of sodium and 15 grams of sugar. That's more salt than a large order of French fries and more sugar than a donut. Then there are the preservatives and additives. To make that pasta and mystery meat last for years on a shelf, companies use chemicals that your body was never meant to process. These can contribute to chronic inflammation, which is the root cause of heart disease, arthritis, and even memory decline. The fix? Make your own. Cook whole wheat pasta. Top it with a simple tomato sauce made from canned crushed tomatoes, the good kind. Takes 20 minutes and gives you a meal that builds your health instead of destroying it. It's practically a heart attack in a can. You'll find it in diners, breakfast spots, and maybe even your own kitchen. This is one of the absolute worst foods for your heart and overall health. It's a greasy, salty mixture of chopped processed meat, potatoes, and a ton of fat. Let's break down why it's so damaging. First, the meat is highly processed. Canned corned beef is treated with nitrates and nitrites, which are preservatives that have been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. When cooked at high heat, these compounds can form nitrosamines, which are potent carcinogens. Second, the fat content is off the charts. A single serving of corned beef hash can contain over 20 grams of fat, with a large portion of that being saturated fat. This is the type of fat that raises your LDL, or bad cholesterol, leading to plaque buildup in your arteries and dramatically increasing your risk for a heart attack or stroke. And finally, the sodium. Like canned soup, it's a salt bomb. 1 can of corned beef hash can blast you with over 1,500 milligrams of sodium. The fix. If you crave that savory breakfast, make a healthier version at home. Saute diced lean beef, or even black beans with boiled potatoes, onions, and bell peppers. Season it with herbs like paprika, garlic powder, and black pepper instead of salt. You'll get all the flavor and satisfaction without the artery-clogging fat and cancer-linked chemicals. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we were diving into the pantry to expose 3 of the worst canned foods for anyone over 60. These foods are marketed as quick, cheap, and convenient, but they're secretly loaded with ingredients that can wreck your health. Let's get started. So coming in at number 3 is canned pasta. Spaghetti and tomato sauce, ravioli, or mac and cheese. They seem like a harmless, family-friendly meal, but for seniors, they're a nutritional trap. These meals are a trifecta of things your body doesn't need: refined carbs, sky-high sodium, and loads of added sugar. It's all swimming in low-quality oils. A single can of ravioli can pack over 1,200 milligrams of sodium. That's more than half your daily limit, plus over 20 grams of sugar disguised in that innocent-looking tomato sauce. The science is clear. Diets high in ultra-processed foods like canned pasta are linked to a significantly higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Take Harold, age 70. He relied on canned spaghetti for a quick dinner a few times a week. Within a year, his blood pressure was out of control. His waistline grew, and he felt exhausted after meals. His doctor warned him he was on the path to diabetes. Shocked, Harold ditched the canned pasta for whole grain pasta with homemade sauce. The change was incredible. His numbers improved, his energy returned, and he felt back in control of his health. Here's why. The refined pasta spikes your blood sugar, leading to a crash. The sugar and oils in the sauce fuel inflammation, which attacks your heart and brain. And all that sodium forces your heart and kidneys to work overtime, causing silent damage. If you feel tired after a meal, it might not just be a jit. It could be your body fighting a sugar and salt overload. Next up at number 2, we have canned meats. I'm talking about Spam, Vienna sausages, and corned beef. These have been pantry staples for decades, sold as affordable, long-lasting protein. The names are nostalgic, but the truth is brutal. For seniors, these are some of the most dangerous foods you can eat. They are packed with sodium nitrates and unhealthy fats that are a direct assault on your heart, kidneys, and even your brain. Let's look at the numbers. A tiny can of Vienna sausages can have over 800 milligrams of sodium. Corned beef. It often tops 1,000 milligrams. Robert, 66, loved snacking on Vienna sausages. Over time, he developed high blood pressure and constant bloating and was eventually hospitalized after a mild heart attack. His doctor connected the dots. The canned meats were flooding his body with salt and preservatives. Here's the science. The sodium overload makes your heart pump harder, damaging arteries. The nitrates used as preservatives can form compounds in your body linked to cancer. And the saturated fat builds up plaque in your arteries. Seniors might dismiss warning signs like swollen ankles or frequent headaches as just part of getting older, but they can be signals that your body's in trouble. Now for the number one worst canned food for seniors, canned chili and stews. These look so hearty and comforting, marketed as a complete meal in a can. But they are the most dangerous trap in the grocery aisle because they combine the worst of everything: ultra-processed meats, excessive sodium, hidden sugars, and unhealthy oils. A single can of chili can contain over 1,200 milligrams of sodium and 20 grams of fat. That's not a meal, it's a chemical cocktail. Research has linked high consumption of ultra-processed foods to a 62% increased risk of early death. Margaret, 74, loved the convenience of canned beef stew. But after 2 years, she was dealing with high blood pressure, joint pain, and constant fatigue.